Deep in the remote mountainous wilderness of Montana in the United States, we find this remarkable structure known as the Sage Wall. This imposing megalithic wonder is composed of massive polygonal granite stone blocks intricately stacked and aligned in a perfectly straight line that extends up to 275 feet in length, which is around 84 meters, although it's believed that it extends additionally underground. Its height reaches up to 25 feet or 8 meters, with the largest of the stone blocks weighing 91 tons. In fact, it is believed that the structure continues an additional 15 feet beneath the ground, making it around 40 feet tall if fully excavated. The wall's unique features, such as its straight lines and angular formations, set it apart from the natural geological formations commonly found in the region. The granite stone blocks appear as if they were cut, stacked, and pieced together like a puzzle, with each block interlocking with the next one. It's known that granite does not split into 90-degree consistent corners and angles, which made many researchers believe this could be some sort of prehistoric megalithic structure. The reason you've likely never come across or heard of the Sage Wall is due to its location on private land, rendering it virtually unknown to the scientific community. The landowners themselves, Christopher Borton and Linda Welsh, were unaware of the wall's presence for many years. Nestled on a mountainside, the wall was concealed by a dense canopy of fallen trees and thick foliage that had covered it for centuries, if not millennia. This natural camouflage made the wall nearly impossible to detect, especially since very few people had ever set foot in the area. The site of the Sage Wall was first discovered relatively recently. It came to light when the landowners decided to clear a portion of their property that had been heavily forested and covered with dense foliage for centuries. As they began clearing the fallen trees and thick underbrush on the side of the mountain, they stumbled upon the wall-like structure. This accidental discovery revealed the previously hidden and virtually unknown Sage Wall, prompting further investigation and interest from both the landowners and the scientific community. The wall's precise, interlocking stones bore a striking resemblance to ancient polygonal masonry found in other parts of the world, such as the megalithic walls in Peru, Egypt, Turkey, Greece, Easter Island, Japan, and many other places around the globe. Does this mean that the Sage Wall of Montana is one of the many prehistoric megalithic sites destroyed thousands of years ago by an ancient cataclysm? Of course, most people dismissed the site as a natural formation. But how could this be a mere natural formation when it's clearly seen that the wall is perfectly straight-lined? We know that a common feature of the megalithic stone walls around the world is the mysterious knobs on the surface of the stones. All of the megalithic ancient sites around the world have these knobs, whether you're in Peru, Egypt, India, China, or elsewhere, and no one knows their real purpose. If the Sage Wall of Montana was indeed a man-made creation, would we not see the same knobs on the stone blocks? Interestingly, Michael Collins, the host of the remarkable YouTube channel Wandering Wolf, who documents many ancient sites around the world, visited the Sage Wall and was surprised to discover that, like in those other megalithic sites around the world, the Sage Wall also possessed numerous knobs in different sizes on different parts of the wall. So walking up right on the trail, another what looks like knob. How can these knobs be a natural formation? And what are the odds for the same type of knobs to be found on granite blocks fitted in the same way as the other ancient megalithic walls on the globe? But the knobs weren't the only strange thing noted by Michael. He found that all across the area, there are large channels and additional walls, all made of tightly fitted and perfectly cut stone blocks, and all aligned in exact straight lines. It was as if this entire place was a prehistoric complex with various structures that have now collapsed and eroded. He also showcased stones that seem to be artificially modified, like this one, for example, which resembles a granite piece from Karnak, Egypt, with a square cut, a channel, and a circle. Although the Sage Wall piece is extremely eroded and barely visible, it's clearly seen that these cuts and grooves are artificially made. And above Sage Wall, we can see these straight, smooth-formed chutes that flow down the side of a mountain. They appear like polished concrete and could have been used as water channels. There were also numerous stones with a variety of round cavities on their surface, known as cup marks. Ancient cup marks, also known as cupules, are among the oldest forms of rock art, dating back to prehistoric times, and can be found in various locations around the world. Their exact purpose is unknown, although the prevailing hypothesis is that they had practical uses, such as grinding or processing food and materials. In our documentary on the Kamanawa Wall of New Zealand, which is another supposed prehistoric structure built by an unknown civilization, we showed you another interesting discovery of a stone with a cup mark. And if you compare the cup marks found in Montana with the marks on this large 125-ton stone block from Sacsayhuaman, Peru, we can find another similarity between these ancient sites. Additionally, there are areas like this that look like someone carved out the rock. Does this seem like a natural formation? Michael Collins discovered numerous more anomalies on the site, which he documented in several videos. We left a link to his video on Sagewall in the description below, so make sure to watch it and subscribe to his channel. As the popularity and mystery of the site became viral, in parts thanks to Michael, the owners of the land, Christopher Borton and Linda Welsh, organized a team of scientists, geologists, and archaeologists to study the site using ground-penetrating radar, magnetic susceptibility testing, soil sample testing, and future plans for the use of LiDAR. Although the studies are still underway, what was initially revealed was fascinating. First, they noticed that the granite blocks exhibit a remarkable level of magnetism, which is extremely unusual for granite. They showed how magnets can effectively stick to the vertical walls, demonstrating the high magnetic pull of the site. Additionally, the initial results of the ground-penetrating radar discovered another strange anomaly. It appears that the wall continues 15 feet below the ground, and there, right in front of the wall, there's a perfectly flat foundation, which is highly unlikely to be a natural formation. The site also caught the attention of Dr. Samir Osmanagic, the Bosnian-American scientist who is known for his discovery of the Bosnian Pyramid, which many consider the largest and oldest pyramid in the world. We have an entire documentary on the Bosnian Pyramid, so make sure to watch it for more details. Dr. Osmanagic traveled all the way to Montana to conduct research on the Sage Wall and concluded that the site is most likely man-made. What's more, he noticed that the megalithic wall is perfectly oriented to face the winter solstice. This was a very interesting discovery, as we know that many ancient megalithic sites are indeed oriented towards solstices, equinoxes, and other significant astronomical events. In the summer solstice, it is southwest. Winter, northwest. And this is the orientation of this wall. Northwest, southeast, meaning it is oriented towards the winter solstice. Dr. Samir Osmanagic also stated that the wall was probably built before the end of the last ice age, which is about 11,700 years ago. After determining that the weight of the heaviest stone at the site was 91 tons, he concluded that whoever built this structure must have possessed some kind of advanced technology lost in time. If we look at a pre-Younger Dryas glacial map of North America, the strategic significance of the Sage Wall becomes evident. It's located exactly on the migration route between Asia and North America, when during the Ice Age, the sea levels were so low that they connected the continents by a land bridge. Scientists once theorized that the ancestors of today's Native Americans reached North America by walking across this land bridge and made their way southward by following passages in the ice. And if we look at this map showing the Cordilleran ice sheet and the Laurentide ice sheet that covered North America about 11,000 years ago, we see that the Sage Wall is located right between the two. This crucial position is flanked by 3 major rivers leading to 3 different oceans, making it an unparalleled hub for movement and resources. And it's now known that the area around Sage Wall is very rich in all kinds of different mineral deposits. In fact, the largest quartz crystal in Montana was also discovered here and currently resides in the Mineral Museum at the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology in Butte. Is the Sage Wall's strategically vital location just a coincidence? Or was it an essential prehistoric site for early human occupation and activity? Even if one were to argue that the Sage Walls were formed naturally through volcanic activity, it is undeniable that their location is exceptionally convenient. If the wall is that ancient, that means that it withstood the cataclysmic events caused by the Younger Dryas impact, including the devastating Missoula floods, which were a series of fierce glacial outburst floods that raced across the landscape at speeds up to 80 miles per hour. Estimates suggest that the floodwaters reached heights of up to 400 feet, about 120 meters, as they surged through certain areas. It's a wonder that the Sage Wall even survived this impact. One theory suggests that the buildup of dirt and sediment along the backs of the wall was caused by the flood dirt that accumulated there. But if Sage Wall really is part of a massive prehistoric megastructure that served a vital role before the end of the last ice age, wouldn't we find more megalithic sites in the area? Well, take a look at this map, which shows the distribution of numerous strange sites and out-of-place artifacts near the Sage Wall. One of the most interesting sites in the vicinity is the Tizer Dolmen. This supposed dolmen is located in a very remote and inaccessible area that doesn't even have cell phone coverage. The site was also extensively covered by Michael Collins from Wandering Wolf, as well as Dr. Samir Osmanagic. A dolmen is a type of single-chamber megalithic tomb, typically consisting of 2 or more vertical stones called orthostats supporting a large flat horizontal capstone or table. These structures are prehistoric and are found in many parts of the world, with a high concentration in Europe, Asia, and Africa. Notable examples include the Polnebron dolmen in Ireland and the Dolmen de Menga in Spain. The Tizer dolmen consists of large, flat stones arranged in a table-like formation, similar to other dolmens found around the world. The structure features a massive horizontal capstone resting on 2 or more vertical stones, creating a small chamber beneath. The design of the Tizer dolmen closely resembles other ancient dolmens. Dr. Osmanagic noted that when granite stone breaks naturally, it typically fractures horizontally due to sedimentation processes. However, at the Tizer dolmen, the stones break vertically, which does not occur naturally. This discrepancy suggests that the stones were originally formed in horizontal layers. He believes that by observing the small breaks on the stones, we can determine that the gray granite stones were initially part of a horizontal sedimentation process before they were moved and reoriented 90 degrees to form this vertical structure. Additionally, a massive capstone has been precisely placed on top of these vertical stones. It is highly improbable that natural forces could have rolled this large block from a higher elevation and positioned it so accurately atop the vertical stones. The precise placement and orientation of these stones imply the intervention of intelligent hands, rather than random natural occurrences. Michael Collins, on the other hand, noted that around the site, just like with the Sage Wall, he found numerous holes, strange linear marks on the stones, together with this large scoop mark. There were also a variety of knobs on the stones, indicating man-made design. In fact, it seemed that the entire structure was balanced upright by a knob at its base. Without this knob, the structure would likely collapse. If you visit MontanaMegaliths.com, created by researcher Julie Ryder, you can find a large collection of photographs of strange megalithic sites that many believe are not natural. We found numerous pictures of a variety of different dolmens, together with this picture of a large scoop mark on the granite. There were also numerous pictures of more supposed megalithic walls like the so-called pipestone walls. Although all of these sites look very symmetrical, they are most likely just natural formations formed by erosion. Nevertheless, they all look very fascinating. But the real question is the Sage Wall of Montana a natural formation or a prehistoric megastructure built thousands of years ago? With everything we shared so far supporting the theory that the structure is indeed man-made, we won't be objective without showing you the arguments for the opposing theory that the site is just a natural formation. Author, explorer, and filmmaker Timothy Alberino conducted an in-depth field analysis of Sage Wall and made some compelling arguments about why the structure is not man-made but a geological formation. He stated that the crevices we see on the wall are natural, as they start from the base and go all the way to the top of the wall, following a natural path. His argument dismisses the man-made theory because if the wall was man-made, then the creators of the wall wouldn't align the blocks along a straight path. Instead, they would offset and stagger the blocks to interlock them, which provides the wall with structural integrity. Of course, there's the possibility that the fissuring occurred after the blocks were placed, meaning that it's possible for the wall to have originally consisted of larger, intact blocks, and the fissuring developed later as the wall began to erode. Additionally, unlike other megalithic sites around the world, there is a notable absence of cultural artifacts, such as tools, pottery, or other signs of human activity, in the vicinity of the Sage Wall. This lack of evidence for human intervention supports the argument that the wall is a natural formation rather than an ancient man-made structure. Geologists studying the Sage Wall propose that it was formed through natural volcanic and tectonic activities. The intense geological forces in the region could have caused the rock to crack and split, creating the appearance of a constructed wall. Over time, these natural processes would have continued to shape and define the wall's current structure. The natural origins theory was further supported by an in-depth analysis of the site by geologist Dr. Stuart Parker, who was featured in a video by the Incredible History Channel. There, Dr. Parker explained how the knobs we see on the rock are also formed naturally. This process occurs when softer parts of the rock erode faster than harder sections, leaving behind the more resistant material as protruding knobs. In conclusion, we can't confirm that the Sage Wall in Montana is a man-made construction. But at the same time, we can't deny it with full certainty also. Whatever the case, what's undeniable is that this gigantic site in the middle of nowhere is a remarkable place to visit.